Do you think Democrats around the country think that Chuck Schumer should be the face of the future of the Democratic Party? Of course not. And I just said out loud what people are thinking in their own private thoughts. And you know what the Democrats need to do? We need to be more independent and truth-telling in this country and bold and not rest on niceties.
California Congressman Ro Khanna among the Democrats calling for Chuck Schumer to step aside as minority leader. 8 members of his caucus cut a deal to end the government shutdown without an extension of those Obamacare tax credits. But some Democrats argue it's not a total loss because, as we mentioned, President Trump is now talking about giving money directly to Americans to buy health insurance. Here's Schumer earlier today.
I am doing what I have done for my whole career. I'm fighting hard to bring Americans' costs down. I'm fighting hard to deliver for New York. I've done that my whole career. I'm going to continue to do that, period.
All right, that was in response to being asked. Everybody wants you out, or at least a large number of people. Let's bring in John Ashbrook and Michael Duncan, co-host of the Ruthless podcast. Great to have you guys here. John, let me start with you. How ugly do you think this is going to get, and who's going to win this thing?
Oh, it's going to be very ugly, Martha, and it is brand new territory for Democrats who've been a largely top-down run party for decades. You remember Obama was in charge of everything. The Clintons were in charge of everything. Nancy Pelosi was in charge of everything. Chuck Schumer was in charge of everything, but now he's the weakest link, and he is the guy who is going to lose control of his party to people like Ro Khanna and other Democrats who've suddenly found a new voice. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Let's hear a little more sound. This is Chris Murphy and AOC. Watch.
We can't continue to be split like this, or we won't save our democracy. And
so
certainly when we return to Washington next week, Senator Schumer is going to have to explain to us how we're going to run the caucus differently, how we're going to be more united.
The stakes are life and death. And that means that we want to make sure that we have Democratic leadership that is strong enough to withstand that.
If they were able, Michael, to push him out, who would be the leader?
I think those two people you just had there on the screen, that's the funniest part of all of this, Martha, is you have AOC in there who wants Schumer's job in the Senate. And then you got Chris Murphy, who wants his job leading the conference. It's sort of bizarre to me. They don't really have a lot of leadership, which is why they find themselves in this situation where we had a shutdown over nothing for longer than a month. But clearly, Chuck Schumer's grip of power is ending.
Let's play this. This is Chi Osei, who is going to run against Hakeem Jeffries in the Brooklyn district for New York Congress. He's 27 years old, and he campaigned for Zoran and has a similar Democratic Socialist allegiance. Watch this.
Ready to declare that a new generation of leadership has arrived, and ready to lead with a new generation of ideas, of governing, of courage. This is the generation that will turn the page on the arrogant, bitter, corporate politics of the past.
Well, we saw Mamdani win in New York. I mean, do you think that Chi Osei has a shot at winning in Brooklyn and pushing out Jeffries, John?
I mean, there's no question, Martha, that he absolutely has a shot. If you look at what the voters in New York did just a few weeks ago, you know that Jeffries is looking over his shoulder. And the reality is, you know, a lot of people call him Timo Obama. He is letting Democrats down, and their party faithful are not happy with the results.
All right, I want to sneak in one other subject with the two of you, because this caught my attention. Michelle Obama says that the reason that Kamala Harris lost, obviously, is because Americans just won't vote for a woman. It's clear we're just not that evolved at this point. Watch.
As we saw in this past election, sadly, we ain't ready. That's why I'm like, don't even look at me about running, because you all are lying. You're not ready for a woman. You are not. So don't waste my time. You know, we got a lot of growing up to do. And there's still, sadly, a lot of men who do not feel like they can be led by a woman, and we saw it.
Ah, so that's what it was all about. Michael, your reaction to that?
Yeah, I don't think it's because she was a woman. I think it's because all of the lunatic positions she had to take in that 2020 Democratic primary. All of that obviously on tape. And then the Trump administration got to play it over and over and over again. When you're talking about decriminalizing border crossings, free healthcare to illegal immigrants, men playing women's sports, that is an agenda that's far outside the mainstream of the American people.
Yep.
It's not because you're a woman.
Just a few seconds here, but your thought on that, John. I agree, by the way. I think Americans are very ready to elect a woman. I think it was not about that last time around. What are your thoughts?
Right. No, America would love to have a woman as president, just not that idiot. I mean, the reality is she could not convey the message that was attractive to Americans, and that's why she lost.
Thanks, you guys. Always great to see you both.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.